Everybody, God bless you. First off, Pastor Angie, thank you so much for letting me share. Oh, wait. Thank you so much for allowing me to share. I just appreciate you, your family, and your whole ministry. You guys are just awesome. And love is just a perfect word because you feel love when you come. Amen. Prophetess Edwards, God bless you. God bless you. Last year. Okay, we'll get it. And also I wanted to say, Pastor Barnett, God bless you, and the other two young ladies that were up here earlier. I just want to share a few things with you. Some of you may have already heard some of my testimony about a January the 2nd, 2021. Seemed like just such a devastating day in my life because I lost a cousin, a senior cousin, and then I did, unbeknownst to me, later on that evening I get the call and I have a special needs son, and he had transitioned. There's a lot of things that took place, and it was just, something that just kind of hits you and takes the wind out of you. And then within 24 hours, I get the call that my mother has transitioned. And sometimes, things happen in your life and you're just wondering like, wow, what do you do? But when you don't know what to do, you have to stick with God. And when God is all you know, where you don't know. I'm old school, so we was taught the safest place in the whole wide world is in the will of God. I know it wasn't His will that I would leave Him, but I just didn't understand. And to this day, it's not even about me. I know He says, in all you're getting, get an understanding, but some things you just have to go through, and it's just life. Now, a year and a half prior to that, I had some complications with my daughter. Drugs is going rapid, and she ended up with the wrong group of people, and I get a call. No, I finally get her into rehab. So I get her into rehab because she's on drugs, her, the boyfriend, and his sister. And that's a task. When you see those shows on TV, it's real. It is real, and it can happen to anybody. So it happened to her, and they got in there. Then I'm going, all she needs is underwear and, undergarments. So I'm going to go get them for her, and I get a call that says, go to the hospital. And why am I going to the hospital? I'm just one of them people. You just got to tell me, why am I going to the hospital? I'm coming back to you. I dropped her off to you. I know that she's there. She called me. I didn't drop her off. She called me. She's there. I'm coming there. No, please go to the hospital. We're going back and forth about going to the hospital. I said, no, I'm not going there. I know where she's at. She's there. I'm coming there. And the lady just sighed. I feel so bad. I thank God for them and their jobs because they can't just tell you things. And she says, ma'am, please go to the hospital. We did everything we could do. And I broke down on the phone and I started crying. And immediately I stopped. And I said, okay, it's okay. I said, I just needed to know what to pray for. I said, I'm sorry, I'm on my way. I just needed to know what to pray for. Well, I go to the hospital and I tried to park the car, couldn't park the car. And God allowed everything that could be in my way be in my way to let me know He's God. And He does that. He does that so that we know exactly who He is. And so I'm driving and I'm going like the right way on the freeway, but going the wrong way to the hospital. And then, of course, I've already called my bestie, Joel. I'm telling you, God will give you a friend. This is my friend. This is my friend. And I called Joel. I said, I need you to go ahead and pray. And I told her what happened. She said, just pull over and park. I'm on my way. I said, no, I can't be still right now. So I said, baby, I gotta keep going. And so I get up there and I go all the way downtown. And I finally get there, and I had to leave the car with somebody I didn't know because I had to go inside. But on the way to downtown, I'm driving across the freeway where I was brought up. I have a grandmother, 98 years old. She passed away at 98. But my grandmother prayed every morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. You were not allowed to interrupt her. And I'm driving right across where I'm just about to where the house was. And on the way, we're just speaking in tongues and praying, speaking in tongues. And all of a sudden I said, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. And it's like a light came on. I said, oh God, you did it when I asked. It's already done. You did it when I asked. It's like, that thing was strong. But now I'm thinking about it as I was driving across there. She woke up every morning praying for an hour. She had an altar there. That's where she prayed for her grandkids and her kids. She had already had an altar that was there. She was long gone now. She died in 1998. But she had an altar there, and I'm passing right through there, and I'm thinking about her, and I'm going on to the hospital. I get to the hospital, and I'm sitting there, and it wasn't that far from the hospital, but all of a sudden, I reverted back. I remember what I said, you did it already, but my mindset went back to me saying, God, please, please save her, keep her, keep her. But he had already told me he did. But just in a moment's time, I went back to asking him for something he had already done. Come on now. So I get to the hospital. Now, I was going out to be a police officer, so I know when you're trying to slow me down. I'm sitting there, and the police are sitting there, and they're getting my things, and they can see that there's something going on with me. And I'm like, listen, I'm just right in here, and I'm just going through all this. I'm like giving them the whole bag. I even had Narcan in my bag. Like, she got to get up from here. I had everything and he's slowing me down. Hell, man, sir, I got to get back here. I get back there, the person I go to help me, she's standing there talking to somebody. Oh, Jesus, have mercy. She stops, and so she looks at me, and she's talking to me, and I tell her about my daughter, and I just break down crying and speaking in tongues. She gives me this big hug, and she just goes off in tongues. But God always has somebody somewhere. He's always got you covered. She goes off in tongues. I tell her about my daughter. She runs back there to try to find my daughter for me. Now, I tell her that my daughter's 32, I don't know what she was. She was in her 30s. I tell her how old she was. And she's going back there looking for her, but my daughter looks like a little kid. So she's back there, and she finally comes back 20 minutes later. Now, I done called Jewel, I done calmed down, I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm like, man, they really slowed me down, because I wanted to get in there. She comes back, and she tells me, I was all over it. Looking for somebody who looked like they're 30-something years old. See, this girl looked like she's 12, and how much she had to use the bathroom? Didn't get it. And then all of a sudden I said, her name is, she said, yeah, but she went to the bathroom. I said, oh, thank you. And I'm sitting here like, oh my God, I thank God for that. But then to hurry up and get to a year and a half later, when my son and my mother goes. And sometimes you think that you can't handle it, but I'm telling you, God has equipped us some kind of way. And I think about how the scripture says in Isaiah 53:10, how he said it pleased him to bruise God, to Jesus. It pleased him because he knew what was coming afterwards. Now it doesn't seem like nobody, who wants to go through all of that for somebody like me? I know me, and I know the things I've done. You know who you are, what you've done, but we sitting to the cross. It's just the truth all by itself. But it pleased him to bruise him. So I'm sitting there, and now I come up with, understand, those he chooses, he bruises. And sometimes we go through things in life, and it seems like it's so hard. But he's already sent us Jesus to show us how that we can get through it. So if we're going through something, if you're going through something, just know this. You've been chosen. You've been chosen. And he didn't choose you and just leave you there. He won't leave you there. Sometimes, like I said, it seems like it's unbearable. But no, we just in a war. The question is, can you be trusted with tragedy? Man, I tell you the truth. I'm like, sometimes you must say, God. But then I look at all that Jesus has done for me. How can I not? How can I not? You can trust me with tragedy. I'm not asking for anything. Right. Because if I have it my way, I'm not asking for it. But you can trust me with tragedy. But he also lets us know in his word. No, but I want to say the reason why I trust him so much and I follow him is because the faith that I have right now, like today, is based on what he's done in the past. If you just seen me a year ago, when this woman of God came in here, speaking the word of God, before she even got to speak it real good, she just pointed out, you right there. You right there. Lift your hands. God is pouring into you. He's pouring healing into you. Well, you know, she didn't know all my friends that was in here. They all knew what I had been through. And so when they looked and seen her, like, oh, she real deal. Because she don't know Rochelle. She don't know her. But she began to talk about how God was pouring into me, healing, and Lord, it was just what I needed. I knew that he was helping me. But I'm telling you, he's a very present help in a time of trouble. And I was just in trouble. I was going through a lot of different emotions because anybody that goes through that, you have to have somebody to lean on. I can't think of no one better than Christ. He's good all by himself. He loves us with an everlasting love. There's nothing I could ever do that would stop him from loving me. He said that I think about, oh Lord, I can hear you, but listen, I was sitting there and I know we sing all these new songs, but this week he had me on the old songs. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. And so I know that the thing is now is the time. So now I have to move on and do what he's called me to do. I can't be scared to get up and preach and minister. I went to church and we go down to the altar. And then from east to west, full. Now there's a question. Those of you who feel like you need help in ministry or what have you, forgot to help you, come on down. So Pastor Ron has us down there. Sister Rochelle, did you come down to pray for somebody or did you come down for prayer? I said, I'm here for prayer. And he just turns around and walks away. Sister Keisha, you come down for prayer or for somebody to pray for you? She said, I came for prayer. He said, some of y'all just need to start working. Now I went down for prayer. Sister Rochelle, pray for Naomi. And immediately I forgot all about me. And I go and I said, God, when I lay my hands, lay your hands, whatever she needs, take care of her now. And I go, she gets blessed. And I'm like, God, now's the time. It's high time for everything. Anything that you need to do, it's time now. So the ministry, the LLC, the new job, everything that God has for the books. I'm going away to do the books. Everything that God has for you, it is time for us to do it now. And I'm getting ready to stop because I'm not going over my time this time. But I know everything I went through, I know no weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. And he said in Joshua 1:9, he said, have not I commanded you to be strong and courageous? I was strong and courageous. I didn't feel like it and I probably didn't look like it, but I want you to know I had somebody who was praying for me. I have an adopted family. My best friend, that's an adopted family. Ronnie Ann and them, God knows exactly what he's doing. Just like you're here in the body, here, some of these people that you see here, you'll end up being closer to them than your own natural family. It's okay. It's okay. But listen, now's the time, whatever he's calling you to do. And look, I'm a person, I'm not stingy. Don't be stingy and don't be trying to hold on to your money when God asks for something. I'm just going to throw that in there, okay? Don't do that. I don't like that. It's not that I don't like stingy people, but there's a spirit behind that. It's called the spirit of poverty. I don't care what you got. I'm going to get ready to get out of the way because I only got 15 seconds. Don't be doing that. Don't do that. You trust God. He said he can see to the soul. Listen, God will get you what you need. Just trust him. Trust him with everything. I got 5 seconds. I'll finish.
Miss BJ, just come and say hello to the folks tonight. This is Reverend BJ.
Grace and peace. Amen. Be unto you from God our Father. I greet you with that name that is above every name. The name of Jesus. Every. Somebody say every. Somebody say every. Every knee shall bow. And say every knee shall bow. Every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. I am so grateful to be here on tonight. One part of the testimony that my sister, it just phantoms me how this happened. Because on the day she called, it was like, Lord, I don't want to talk to these people. I didn't want to answer the phone. But she said, can you, just going through chat. And she said, can I call you? Lord, I don't want to talk to nobody. So when I gave her my number and she called, and I was still being kind of slowful, but I heard something in her voice that said, we need to take this a little further. Because this is a recorded line. So we talked, I know we talked at least 2 hours. Seriously. And in that conversation, she missed the window of what she was trying to get the number of times on television. So God would say to me, and this is not my company, but I gave her over 60 more airings on TV. So then I asked her what the weekend was, and she said, this weekend. And it's my husband's auntie, his last name auntie, her name is Baby Christmas, my name. And her birthday is this weekend up in Rochelle, New York. So we had already planned to go. But 2 Thursdays ago, my husband came downstairs at 9 o'clock in the morning. He said, we're not going to go to our baby's party this the weekend. I said, okay. 2 o'clock that same day in the afternoon, this woman of God called me and talked to me, and she said, well, I really wish you could come. And she said, but you have your auntie's party. And I said, my husband said this morning we're not going to New York. So able to do all of that, and then all the conversations still, I was like, God, I met this other man in Dayton, Ohio, through my same company. And he has a television, he's a producer. And he's always told me, BJ, whenever you get your book out, I want to invite you on. And I said, but I have a friend who has a conference, and I need you to let her to interview her, to put it on TV.
Come on now.
He said, put her in touch.
Come on now.
Somebody say, well, God. So with all of that, when I see but God moments, and then prior to all of this, a woman of God told me that now is my time. So when I asked her what was the theme of her conference, she said, made for more. Now is the time. I don't need no more signs. I don't need no more wonders. I don't need nobody else telling me what's going to happen. I know for myself that now is the time. You better get it in your spirit before tomorrow morning. That now is your time. I don't care what happened last year. I don't care what happened last month. I don't even care what happened when you were 5 years old. Now is the time. God said now is your time. Now is your time. Whatever it is you got to do on tonight. Whatever you have to do on tonight. Whatever. Listen to me good. I don't care what you have to do tonight to empty and purge yourself for a refilling tomorrow morning. Because tomorrow morning, your life is going to change forever. Your life is never going to be the same. It's not like happenstance or circumstance that you're here. God said, it's this appointed time that you will be in the midst of greatness.